Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs by Civic Center IAS, where we will discuss the top important articles from the UPSC CSE Prelims perspective for the day. So the first article here talks about soil health cards. See, the total soil health cards generated were 24.84 crore they were generated and issued to the farmers. Now, what is the purpose of these soil health cards? See, the purpose is mainly to assess the soil health and provide farmers with detailed information on soil parameters. So what are the parameters covered under it? See, the pH of the soil, electrical conductivity, and the key nutrients like the nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, sulfur. Furthermore, micronutrients like the zinc, copper, iron, manganese, boron, and organic carbon. Now, the integrated nutrient management advisories guide the farmers on optimal use of chemical fertilizers, organic manures, and biofertilizers. Furthermore, this INM focuses on improving soil organic carbon and soil health. Furthermore, the mechanisms which are involved for the advisory are ATMA, which stands for Agriculture Technology Management Agency, and Krishi Vigyan Kendras, which play key roles in disseminating the advisories. Furthermore, we have Krishi Sakhis, where 70,002 trained to support the farmers in understanding the soil health card recommendations. Now, moving on to talk about the Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana. See, the main purpose of it is the promotion of organic farming through a cluster-based approach, focusing on sustainable agriculture practices. Furthermore, the key features are, firstly, the preference for small and marginal farmers to help them form organic farming supply chains. Secondly, the support in the production, processing, certification, and marketing. Lastly, financial assistance is provided for on-farm and off-farm organic inputs to encourage sustainability. Now, moving on to talk about the second article, which talks about SAGARMALA scheme. See, this was launched by the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways with an objective to promote port-led development by utilizing the India's vast coastal and inland waterway resources. So there are two parts of it. Firstly, coastline, which is 7,500 meters long, and navigable waterways with 4,500 kilometers long. Now, what are the key components under this mission or the key focus areas? See, firstly, enhancing or upgrading the port facilities to handle more cargo and modernized operations. Secondly, improving the connectivity through better road, rail, and other transportation links to ports. Thirdly, development of industrial zones around the ports to boost economic growth. Then, uplifting the coastal communities through skill development, employment opportunities, and infrastructure development. Lastly, promoting the use of waterways for cargo transport to reduce the pressure on road and rail networks. Now, the total cost of the projects is worth 9,407 crore for 119 projects. And also 72 out of 119 projects have been completed. Now, key areas of financial assistance under this are post-infrastructure development, coastal berth projects, road and rail connectivity projects, fishing harbors and skill development, cruise terminal projects, and ferry services. Now, moving on to the third article, which says the Government of India has implemented multiple schemes to empower the women, especially in the entrepreneurial innovation sectors. These initiatives are part of broader efforts to boost women's participation in the economic growth and development of the country. In this context, we'll talk about various schemes supporting the women entrepreneurs. Firstly, we have the Startup India initiative, where over 73,000 startups, nearly half of the total supported startups, have at least one woman director, emphasizing the role of women in driving innovation. Then we have the other schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, which is aimed at providing skilling opportunities to women, and the Mahila Coir Yojana, which is a subcomponent of the Coir Vikas Yojana, providing opportunities to the coir industry. Then with respect to the intellectual property and innovation support, the India Patent Act offers expedited examination of patents when at least one applicant is a woman, encouraging female innovators to protect their inventions. Secondly, reduced patent filing fees for women, where women entrepreneurs benefit from reduced fees for patent filings in their individual capacity, promoting innovation. Then we have women's patent filees have increased by 905% over the past 5 years, And lastly, through the Atal Innovation Mission, about one third of the startups incubated in the AIM's Atal Incubation Centers are led by women. Then, with respect to financial support and credit facilities, we have Mudra Yojana, which provides bank loans and entrepreneurial support, significantly benefiting the women entrepreneurs. Then we have the Credit Guarantee Scheme for startups, which offers guaranteed, which offers offers credit guarantees on loans to eligible borrowers, including women, to promote entrepreneurship. Then we have the Prime Minister Employment Generation Program, which provides credit-linked subsidies for self-employment and micro-enterprise establishment in the non-farm sector. Then women-friendly provisions in the Companies Act of 2013, which mandates at least one woman director in companies, increasing women's participation or representation in corporate leadership. Lastly, we have the Swanidhi, PM Swanidhi, which provides credit facilities and self-employment opportunities for street vendors, with a significant percentage of beneficiaries being women. So these are the other support schemes with respect to the women's entrepreneurship. Now moving on to the fourth article, it says that the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Friday informed the Rajya Sabha that the peace prevailed in Manipur and dialogue between the two communities are initiated. So two communities which he was talking about were the Kuki Zo and the Meitei communities. See, firstly talking about the Kuki Zo ethnic group, see they are an ethnic group found primarily in northeast India, particularly in the states of Manipur, Nagaland and Mizoram, with some populations also residing in Myanmar. So, if we have to talk about historically, the Kuki Zo people are traditionally believed to be part of Tibeto-Burman language family. Know that the term Kuki is a collective name that refers to various tribes, including the Zo, Kuki, Chin and others, which are spread across India, Myanmar and Bangladesh. So they have a long history of migration and settlement in the region, and their culture is strongly influenced by indigenous practices and beliefs. So, talking about the tribal distribution, the Zo people are part of the broader Kuki Zo ethnic group, are scattered across Manipur, Mizoram and Nagaland, with a significant presence in Myanmar. They predominantly inhabit in the Chin Hills region of Myanmar and the hilly regions of the northeast India. Now, talking about the key characteristics of these people, they follow various traditional faiths, with many practicing Christianity after missionary influence in the 19th and 20th century. Furthermore, they are known for their unique languages and distinct cultural practices, including traditional festivals, dances, and rituals. Then the Kuki Zo people are primarily agriculturists, which means with a strong reliance on the shifting cultivation known as jhum farming. Now moving on to talk about the Meitei community. They are an indigenous ethnic group predominantly found in the state of Manipur in northeast India. They have a distinct cultural, linguistic and religious identity. So historically speaking, the Meitei people the Meitei people traces its origins to ancient Manipur, which has a rich historical legacy, which was once a powerful kingdom known as the Kingdom of Manipur. So they are primarily Hindu by religion, with a significant influence of Samamahi, which is an independent religion, and Christianity with some sections. So the language is also known as Manipuri, which belongs to Tibeto-Burman family of the languages. It's the official language is Manipur and has a significant literary history. So the Meitei culture is marked by classical dance known as Manipuri dance, traditional attire and festivals like Yoshang, Lai Haroba and Ningol Chokabwa. Now, why are they significant? See, they are predominantly live in the Impal Valley of Manipur, which forms the cultural and economic hub of the state. They have a significant role in state's politics, education and administration. Moving on to talk about the fourth article. It says that ahead of the fresh series of hearings at the Supreme Court next month over genetically modified food crops, the Department of Biotechnology said that there was a progress on this front. In this context, we will talk about the GM crops. See, there are those that have been altered through genetic engineering to possess specific traits that do not naturally occur in species. This is done by introducing a gene, often from a different species, that confers a desirable trait such as resistance to pests, diseases or herbicides, or the ability to tolerate environmental stress like drought. So some of the key technologies which are involved are gene editing, CRISPR-Cas9 and transgenics. So what are the benefits with respect to it? Firstly, GM crops are engineered to resist pests and diseases, leading to higher productivity. Then the crops like BT cotton and BT corn contain a gene from the Bacillus thuringiensis bacterium, which provides a toxin harmful to certain pests but safe for humans and animals. Then crops like Roundup Ready soybeans can tolerate certain herbicides, making weed control easier and reducing the need for more toxic alternatives. Furthermore, some GM crops are engineered to provide enhanced nutritional content, such as golden rice, which is fortified with vitamin A. Lastly, reduced pesticide use and better crop management may help in sustainable agriculture, reducing the environmental impact of farming. Talking about the India condition, see, the most widely grown GM crop in India is cotton, which was introduced in the year 2002 and has been extensively adopted by farmers due to its resistance to bollworms, which is a major pest. Then, the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, which is in short called the GEAC, under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, regulates the approval of GM crops in India. So, any GM crop must undergo rigorous testing for the biosafety and environmental impact before being commercialized. Now, moving on to the next article, it says that the rupee on Friday climbed to a 10-week high of 86 rupees against the US dollar due to a surge in the foreign inflows into the domestic equities and debt markets, according to the analysts. In this context, we'll talk about the what are forex reserves, and then we'll look at what is forex swap. See, forex reserves are the country's foreign currencies held by a country's central bank or the monetary authority. These reserves serve as an important part of a country's monetary policy and play a critical role in ensuring economic stability. So now, what are the various components under forex reserves? Firstly, we have foreign currency assets, which comprises of assets like foreign currency, foreign government bonds, etc. Then we have the gold reserves, where the country's stock of gold is considered as part of forex. Then we have special drawing rights, which are allocated by the IMF to its member countries. Lastly, we have reserve position in the IMF, which is the country's reserve position in the IMF, essentially the amount it can draw from the IMF. So these are the various components under it. Now, why are they significant? See, firstly, the forex reserves are used to make the country's import payments and other international financial obligations. Secondly, the central banks use the reserves to stabilize the local currency in the foreign currency market. Then, the sufficient reserves indicate the ability of a country to meet international liabilities, which strengthens investor confidence. Lastly, we have something called emergency fund, where in times of economic crises or natural calamities, the country can dip into the reserves for emergency relief or economic stimulus. Then, what is forex swap? See, a forex swap is a financial agreement between two parties to exchange a certain amount of one currency for another and to reverse the transaction at a later date, usually with an agreed upon exchange rate. So we have different types of forex swaps also, you don't have to get into it, but main are currency swap. Then we have foreign exchange swap or the FX swap, which consists of a spot transaction or a forward transaction. Now, what are the uses of these forex swaps? See, firstly, they'll help in liquidity management, where the forex swap, where the central banks use the forex swaps to manage liquidity in the local currency. By swapping the currencies, they can ensure sufficient foreign currency liquidity in the market. Secondly, forex swaps can be used by central banks to stabilize their domestic currency by injecting foreign currency into the market and managing exchange rate fluctuations. So, thirdly, investors and financial institutions use forex swaps to benefit from the differences in the interest rates across the countries. Now, moving on to the seventh article. The seventh article says that admitting that some of the complaints of the wrongdoing in the Jal Jeevan Mission were genuine. So, Minister gave this statement. In this context, we'll talk about the Jal Jeevan Mission. See, the Jal Jeevan Mission was launched by PM Modi on August 15th of 2019, aims to provide tap water connections to every household by 2024. Significantly, this mission seeks to address the water scarcity issues, improve the quality of life of our rural populations, particularly women, and promote a socio-economic empowerment. So, it emphasizes sustainability, community ownership, and awareness while providing safe drinking water. So some of the key objectives with respect to Jal Jeevan Mission are: firstly, provision of functional household tap connections to every rural household. Secondly, priority in water scarce areas such as drought-prone regions, desert areas, and Sansad Adarsh Gram villages. Then, ensuring water availability for schools, Anganwadi centers, and health centers. Furthermore, to promote water conservation and grey water management. Then, sustainability of water supply systems. Lastly, community ownership, empowering locals to contribute to the water management process. So, these are the now moving on to talk about the mission components. The different components are like source sustainability, like the rainwater harvesting, grey water management, and water conservation. Like that only we have community approach, human resource development, and IEC, which is information, education, and communications. Now, the last article of the day says that a team of scientists may have discovered dozens of new species, including giant sea spiders, octopi, and corals on the newly exposed seafloor left behind by an enormous A84 iceberg that broke away from George VI ice shelf on Jan 13th. In this context, we'll talk about the issue overall. See, A84 iceberg, which broke away from George VI ice shelf on January 13th of 2025, has exposed an underwater world previously inaccessible. So this iceberg spans 510 square kilometers. 510 square kilometers, about 2.5 times the size of Kolkata. So Challenger 150, which is a global deep sea research initiative endorsed by UNESCO, aimed at exploring these newly exposed areas. So the team of scientists made several groundbreaking discoveries by exploring the seafloor using a remotely operated vehicle called Sebastian. So what are the key discoveries? So the team found an array of thriving ecosystem at a depth of 1300 meters of below the sea. Furthermore, new species including giant sea spiders, octopi, giant phantom jellyfish, and corals were observed, possibly marking dozens of new species. Furthermore, large corals, sponges, and icefish were found, contributing to a diverse and flourishing ecosystem. Also, a vase-shaped sponge, possibly hundreds of years old, was discovered, along with a giant phantom jellyfish species capable of growing up to 1 meter wide. So, what is the significance of these findings? Firstly, this discovery is significant because ecosystems beneath the Antarctica's ice shelves are largely cut from the surface nutrients. Typically, deep sea communities rely on photosynthetic organisms to bring nutrients from the surface, but these ecosystems have been covered by 150-meter thick ice for centuries. So, the survival of these diverse species presents a mystery for the scientists. So, it's hypothesized that the ocean currents, glaciers melt water, or other unknown processes could be transporting essential nutrients, enabling life to flourish beneath the ice. So in this video, we have discussed 8 articles in total for today. We'll be back again with another video tomorrow. Thank you.